Hi guys, this week's theme of training has been all about glute strengthening, glute activation. So I just want to do a quick recap on what we spoke about at training. If you're going to buy a couple of bits of equipment, this is all you need. 2 resistance bands, little one, longer one, that's all you need. Now, when we're talking about glutes, we're talking about all the muscles that surround the whole hip joint. 2 main areas. One is the big meaty bit of your buttock, that's the glute maximus. That is really the most powerful muscle in your lower extremities. So it makes sense that that's the muscle that we want to get going. That will help us propel ourselves down the road quickly. So if you're biking or running, glute maximus is the driver. That muscle actually extends the hip. So it's pushing the leg to the rear like so. The muscles below the glutes, the hamstrings, also extend the hip, but they're not as strong as glute maximus. So that is why we've got to get glute maximus super strong and activated and working when we're running down the road. So I just want to show you one simple exercise you can do to really strengthen the glutes and get them going. All you do is, with a band about 1 meter long, get down on all fours on the ground, and from this position you simply kick your leg out to the rear like so, nice and high, fully straightened, then a slight lateral movement, then back in and back to the starting position. So it's a kick, out, back, in. Kick, out, back, in. 10 or 12 repetitions, both sides, 2 or 3 sets. 1 to twice every week, and that will really help to engage that glute maximus, activate it, strengthen it, and help us running down the road. Now, let's change the focus to another part of the glutes. There are 2 other gluteal muscles, glute minimus, glute maximus, also several hip rotator muscles. These muscles are super important for keeping your pelvic girdle lined up. If they're not working or recruited when we're running, what will happen is when your leg strikes the ground, you'll get a pelvic tilting action, which is that. See what happened then? I tilted my pelvic girdle. It went from there and it slid out to the side. When that happens, on foot strike with the ground, the knee will actually track internally, in like so. Can you see that, everybody? So the pelvic tilts that way and the knee tracks into the midline. So there's extra forces traveling down the iliotibial band on the lateral side of that lower thigh. What will happen is those forces will hit at strange angles. Eventually you'll get ITB issues, knee issues, calf issues, potentially Achilles issues. So when we impact the ground, we've got to make sure that stays a nice straight line. No internal rotation happening. This nasty little fella will help strengthen those muscles. This is what we do. Strapped around and tension on the band at all times. Then all you do is simply shuffle down that way, like so. Keep the knees slightly bent, keep this core strong so you're not moving laterally, and you shuffle, shuffle, shuffle until you see smoke and flames gushing out of your hips. When it's really burning up in there, then you can stop. Take a small little break and then shuffle back that way, like so. When you're shuffling, do not lead with your toe. So keep your toes straight. Think lead with the heel. So you don't want to be, see that lower foot? You don't want to go like so. Variations to that exercise are standing in the one spot and doing small arcing movements like that. Tension on the band. More variations. Can't go backwards. Step, 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 and keep stepping again until it's really burning up in those hip, glute joints. Third variation is front shuffling, like so. Again, until you get a nice burn happening up in those hip joints. Same as glute maximus strengthening. Make sure you do the same number of repetitions or time on both sides. So if you step 10 times to the left, make sure it's 10 times to the right. 2 or 3 times a week and you'll be on your way. Thanks guys, have a good week. See ya.